So President Trump just addressed the nation, and let me say first and foremost, after 4 years of cackling Kamala and bumbling Joe Biden, to see Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, and President Trump, 4 alphas back in charge, makes me sleep a little better at night. Could you imagine Kamalamity, Miss Kamala Harris being in charge at a moment like this? I shudder to think about it. Now, President Trump, what a lot of people don't want to talk about is he gave the Iranians 60 days. He said, come to the table, give me your best deal, and they did nothing. So President Trump, if he went back on his word, if he reneged on his promise, we would have been seen as weak by all these other countries and our adversaries like we were the last 4 years under Joe Biden. But President Trump, he's the F around and find out president. He gave you 2 months, and now it's go time. For 45 years, we've been talking about Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Back in 2011, President Trump was tweeting and posting, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I don't know where everybody is, but the man has kept his word on every single promise. This should not have been a surprise to anybody paying attention. Now, in President Trump's first term, he was able to get Baghdadi, Soleimani, using very strategic, limited scope, get in and get out missions. I was not surprised that that is what happened here, getting the Iranian nuclear sites. Now, I know most Americans are weary of war. My entire generation, millennials, Gen X, and so forth, they do not want to be dragged into a war. But President Trump is not going to drag us into a war. The man very strongly, vocally, and publicly opposed the Iraq war. This was a limited mission to say, you know what, Iranians, if you want to come to the table now, we're taking out your 3 nuclear sites. Now, we also have to remember the internet is not real life. There are some very vocal, loud voices online, but 85% of Americans, according to a recent Harvard-Harris poll, do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. So President Trump, 85% of people are telling him they cannot have nuclear. He gave them months to come to the table. They didn't. It was time for them to find out. He's not going to go over there and play nice with the Ayatollah and braid each other's hair and sing Kumbaya like some folks on the internet would like for him to do. And one thing about me, you guys know I've never taken a dollar from the RNC, the DNC, any special interest group. The only thing I'm beholden to is the truth. And the truth is, I don't think we'd be in this situation if Joe Biden had not been such a weak president the last 4 years. He unfroze this money for the Iranians. He enriched them with billions and billions of dollars. They were funding Hamas, they were funding Hezbollah, and back in October of 2023, because my mind is like a catalog, Joe Biden was asked on 60 Minutes with Scott Pelley, what are you going to do about Iran? What are you going to do about Hezbollah? Joe Biden's only answer was, don't. Don't. Well, don't isn't cutting it. President Trump is not just going to go, don't. It's time for them to find out, okay? Joe Biden's weakness is what got us into all of these situations. Turns out, don't was not a good foreign policy plan. So the overarching lesson is this. President Trump is not effing or messing around in the second term. And all these other countries have watched. We have the best military in the world. We were able to execute this mission without any leaks. We got our people out safe and sound. I don't say this as a partisan statement. I've never taken a dollar from Trump. I say this as a factual statement. I am happy he is in charge, and we are safer right now because of the actions he took tonight. All right, my friends, thanks for liking and following. Drop a comment. Tell me how you feel about everything going on. I always welcome an open dialogue. You can agree with me. You can disagree with me. I will, of course, be discussing this further in depth on Monday on my podcast, Spot On with Link Lauren. Make sure you're following us there. We have a lot to discuss. I'm going to go watch a movie. I'm going to bake some cookies. I had a lot of plans for tonight, okay? Turns out President Trump had some plans for tonight too. War plans. But I'm going to go and enjoy my night. I pray for all of you. God bless you all. Goodbye.